Real Metal. I am your host, Mark. Before we get things started, I'd like to introduce my panel. We have JP.
Hello.
Ben. And James. So, this time around, we're watching a 1995 film. 1995, I believe? Death Metal Zombies. Now, JP, had you seen this movie before?
No, I hadn't.
Ben?
No, definitely not.
And James?
No.
I'd heard about this first when we started doing this show, and I finally tracked down a copy of it at HorrorCon a few months ago, so let's see if we can find a trailer. Okay, which one of you poor SOBs is going to synopsize this for us?
I guess I will. So, at the beginning of the movie, you get introduced to a Richard Nixon serial killer. Or a guy in a Richard Nixon mask. and then it drastically changes to a bunch of teenagers they win a contest and they get this tape. And on the tape is a song released by their favorite band, Living Corpse, that is only released on that one cassette tape. So if you get that, it's the only copy out there. And so when you play the song, it turns you into zombies. And you have to do what was his name? Lithgar or...
Shingar.
Go out and kill it for us!
the lead singer for Living Corpse, who is actually the devil, and he wants you to kill for him. And then by the end of the movie, I won't spoil it for you, but at the very end of the movie, you see Richard Nixon again.
Excellent synopsis.
Yeah, spoilers. I don't even know where to start with this. Film has a great soundtrack, has lots of music from Relapse Records on there. It was made in 1995, shot on video, obviously a no-budget horror film. But
I'm glad you made that distinction between low budget and no budget, because it was homemade.
Yeah.
It was certainly homemade.
Yeah.
It's pretty good for what it was, though. Like the blood pouring out of their mouths or coming back into their mouths, how the way that it was shot, for what it wasn't too bad.
yeah, I mean, we're in the midst of making a no-budget short horror film right now, so I kind of, I feel for these guys. They made a full-length movie.
Yeah.
On
They did.
Huh?
I was wondering, was it going to be like 60 minutes, 70 minutes? Are they going to stretch it out with bullshit?
Yeah.
They didn't. And when you make no budget horror, shoestring budget, you have to get deep in guerrilla filmmaking.
Yeah.
And there are moments in this where they did that. Not the whole thing, but there are moments.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. It's 1995. They're shooting it on video. There's no real, you're not running into After Effects to do a bunch of stuff on this. Everything has to be done in camera.
Mm-hmm.
There's little to no editing.
Yeah.
Everything appears to be one take.
Yeah. There definitely could have been some second takes in there.
One thing that's really prevalent throughout is the conversation set pieces. It's all single shot of each person talking.
Talking head.
Yeah, it's never them. And
As a
you
group.
wonder, is it because they just tried the lines and they were like, we can't do it?
You should know. Sorry, Brad. One day, man, we're gonna party with all the death metal bands.
So they had to do these singles. It just keeps cutting to each person's head every time they talk.
And they're not necessarily in frame either. A few times.
They're standing right next to each other, and
Yeah.
it's very odd.
Certainly not a perfectly made film, but I enjoyed it for one. I thought it was fun. It was, you know, it was a fun idea, and the people that made it looked like they were having fun making it.
Aside from the few songs from Relapse on the soundtrack itself, like in the score, there wasn't a whole lot of death metal, really.
What do you mean? The whole thing was Relapse.
Well, I mean the soundtrack, the score itself, yes, but like the music that they were Living Corpse, that didn't really sound all that death metal. And they have Kiss posters everywhere. They've got
Metallica
posters,
Kiss T-shirts.
There's not a whole lot of death metal represented.
I'd be interested to know kind of what role Relapse played in this, because they wear Relapse tops.
Yeah.
Lots of Relapse representation.
They thank Relapse in the notes and in the end credits. It's full of Relapse artists on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
But what role does Relapse play in this? Were they part of the making of it?
I don't know.
Does one of them work for Relapse? I saw some names on the credits
Yeah.
that I didn't recognize and didn't appear to be cast members.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of information about this movie out there to find out. There are some making of stuff on the DVD that we never got a chance to watch, but like the IMDb page, you know, you go into trivia usually, but there's not a lot of information out there on this. So, like, I'd like to know the story behind that, and if they are just a bunch of friends that decided to make a movie, then how the hell did they get Relapse involved?
They probably just wrote and said, "Hey, we're shooting a movie. Can we have a box of merch?" They're like, "Here you go."
Yeah.
Is Relapse run out of Houston, Texas? Because this is shot in Houston.
No, I think it's Philadelphia, isn't it?
That's even weirder then. Because if it was shot out of where they're based out of, that would give
make more sense.
make more sense to why that happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like to know how that came about. Because there are some great songs on there. I was super stoked to see Count Raven on there. I was like, oh, wow.
Amorphis?
Amorphis, yeah. Mortician.
Incantation, apparently.
I didn't hear it in there, though.
Dismember.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure if it was in there. It wasn't like whole songs being played.
No.
But there were kind of these weird like cuts where each scene would be cut with a different song.
Yeah.
It didn't kind of travel over. There was a scene where the girl gets home from presumably work, but she's robbed someone's purse.
But for work is pickpocketed, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We were confused because we were asking each other, did we miss that scene or did one of us miss it?
Yeah.
Where she's stolen this bag and then she tells us about everything she's stolen.
She really does.
Yeah.
But she starts playing some death metal, and then it cuts to one of the zombie guys coming outside the house, and it's a different death metal song.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back, and it's the other one again.
Oh yeah. That's a good catch. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, no, and that happens a few times in the movie as well, too. Maybe it had something to do with the deal with Relapse, that they had to use so many different songs or something like that in order to be able to use them for free, because I'm damn well sure they didn't pay for licensing rights on those songs.
No, but clearly the Relapse is part of it, because they thank him.
Yeah.
Okay, can we talk about Richard Nixon?
Sure. The movie doesn't say much about him except the very beginning, where he's even on TV. They're doing a news story about a guy in a Richard Nixon mask that is killing people.
Well,
and he wants to be president. The killer wants to be president.
We have no idea who the man is or why he is wearing the Nixon mask, but he is wanted for murdering 3 teenage girls in the Magnolia County area. There has been only one witness who actually saw the man at a distance, and this man believes that the Nixon mask is a sign that the killer wants to be president someday.
But it's, the thing with Nixon...
It almost feels like it was a different movie.
That's because you had the opening scene with Richard Nixon killing someone. Yeah. Well, it was the girls in the house.
Yeah, but he killed someone before that. Then they hear the news story about him.
And then he kills them in the house.
And then he kills...
It had the opening.
Yeah.
And then the tape comes out, and it's called Evil something.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, that was cool. See, I thought that they had watched that on the tape. Then the tape came out, and then a news report came on the same television about the Richard Nixon killer, which was even more confusing.
But then at the end, he comes back in real life.
In the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not actual Tricky Dick.
Yeah, you're not watching him on TV. Like you and the characters aren't watching them on TV.
Best part about Nixon was.
Yeah,
that's right. Signature move.
Can we talk about the fight scene by the campfire?
That was great. The gang.
No, we can't talk about that.
The stabbing.
Yeah.
that was one of my favorite parts because it's just this other group of seemingly more metalheads. They all have metal shirts on and stuff like that. Show up and
Start a fight.
start a fight. People get stabbed. The girl bites a dude.
We get told multiple times as they're turning up, oh no, here comes trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really slow burn.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's all Billy with his switchblade. They're coming to rough him up.
Yeah.
I actually, in my head, I got that confused. I just realised the scene with Richard Nixon molesting the guy to death. That's the opening.
That's the opening scene. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So he just kind of grabs him and he bleeds.
Oh,
Very
he's like
strange.
pulls. He's like around a tree,
Yeah,
pulls
rubbing
against
him.
the
Yeah.
tree.
Yeah. So you said it's like, is he buggering him to death?
Buggering him?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
Blood starts coming out of his mouth and shooting out of his chest. Like it's a really weird death.
All right. Well, let me just mention some of our favorite scenes, I suppose, or some of the things that you really enjoyed about it.
The score,
The score. Yeah.
the relapse score was good.
It was
Shower.
great.
Without the relapse score, it would have been fucking hard to watch.
Yeah.
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 It was a shame that Dylan and the rapper never had another
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
scene.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was the best thing ever.
Yeah.
He
This
sits on the
We're talking
gigantic muscle man with he had some big hands. Those mitts
mitts,
were
man.
man. Wow. They were like, I don't know if that was just the angle they shot it at, or if his hands are really.
I think they knew about angles.
Man,
Yeah.
they were frightening. I wish he would have came
Hands like
back.
cinder blocks.
Yeah, it was just, and he just ran away. Like he left the girl. He was gone. He was
Yeah.
wait.
He had 2 muscle belts on.
Yeah.
Weight belts.
What else? And his friend sits on the knife.
Oh.
That was great.
Yeah.
As you saw the guy
Yeah.
holding it.
She sneaks in there and just holds it. Or he sneaks in there and just holds it there.
I thought, because he screamed for so long and it kept coming out, very little of it,
Yeah.
I thought like guts were going to come out. I was really hoping
you were
for that.
waiting, yeah.
I was waiting for guts to come out. It was a pocket knife.
There was one really good gut scene though. I guess we should probably end this off because it's
There's not a whole lot to talk about.
no,
Minimalist.
but I still enjoyed it though. Would you recommend this film, JP?
On paper, it looks good. You've got some TNA, you got some kills that are reasonably well executed. Soundtrack's great, but the whole thing just didn't come together for me. So
Yeah.
I'd say no on this one.
You've just totally reminded me of the shower scene.
It was awesome. It's the best part of the
That
movie.
Oh yeah,
How long can you soak your tits?
In slow motion.
Yeah.
gratuitous nudity. So
Gratuitous nudity, that's an oxymoron, though. In most cases, isn't it?
the topless old lady zombie.
That was gratuitous.
she's coming back. Yeah.
they just found her. It's like here's $10. Show us your tits.
Bottle of rye. Yeah. Right.
Would you recommend it then in that case?
I said no for Hard Rock Zombies, and ever since I said that, I've regretted it because I hadn't stopped thinking about that movie, and I do want to see it again. Yeah, that's right. In terms of this, that movie is way better than this. I say yeah, I'd recommend this. It's super low budget, filmed in your parents' house while they're out for the night,
Yeah.
maybe the whole weekend. But yeah, I had a lot of fun watching it. If you're into death metal and stuff, you'll get the kicks out of those moments, and you might even appreciate the lengths they went to with no budget for the kill scenes.
I wouldn't recommend it. The music, like JP was saying, the music is good and everything looks good on paper, but it just wasn't executed. It was a hard watch.
Some of the acting and the lines were just
So, like the acting
really
is
poor.
like I love that acting,
Pretty
I love
stilted.
it, but this is
Yeah, it wasn't even campy or on purpose. They were trying to
Angel
act,
was
and
great,
it didn't
man.
work.
Angel's delivery was fun.
She was spot on.
Spot on for this caliber.
I think I'd have to recommend it. I appreciate that it's a bunch of friends that got together to make a movie and accomplish that. What I got is the 10-year anniversary DVD. So it was, like it's still around.
Was the DVD released 12 years ago?
It's a split decision.
I think it's fun to sit down with a bunch of friends and some booze and watch it and have a few laughs.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. I think that's the best way to watch it. I probably wouldn't want to sit down and watch it by myself.
Well, I gotta say that it's been. We were talking about how long it was going to take for us to get to this level.
Yeah.
A lot of the movies we've watched have slowly digressed, and Hard Rock Zombies felt like it was at the bottom of the barrel. We've now got to this point of.
We've got a new bar at the bottom.
The bar has been lowered. Yes. We're now watching May shot on home video movies.
Yeah.
And it's great. I love it. Do it again.
All right, thanks once again for joining us here at Real Metal. Let's get some plugs out of the way. JP.
Check out metalrules.com. We do lots of movie reviews on that site too.
Ben.
Listen to Sleep Terror. And
James.
Check out Gales of Avalon. We've got a new album coming out,
and audio drama, which has everyone here plays a part in that.
and a short horror movie was going to be coming out. And videos and a whole bunch of other cool stuff.
So if the director of Death Metal Zombies sees this and gets angry, he can make fun of our movie too, because it's shot on with no money either.
Oh yeah, and Carrion King. We've nearly finished recording.
There you go.
Yeah, Calgary death black metal.
If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like and share button. We'd really appreciate it. And until next time.
Well, that was an awesome movie.